All right, recording started. All right, you play with friends. Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons, you play with friends sometimes? That's amazing. Can I play? My group stopped. My group stopped. I need someone to play with. It's a board game. It's not, it's kind of a board game. You want to, oh, and Stranger Things. It's kind of a board game if you have a good game master. If you have a good game master, it's a board game. But if you don't have a good game master, it is all imagination. All right, let me get my PPT up. And okay. So I will now get the PPT started. All right, I'm not gonna lie today, guys. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking. So, pin so you can only see me. Alrighty, so D&D and tabletop role-playing games. At any time, if you have a question about D&D or what I'm talking about, please stop me and answer. I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role-playing games. All right, so what is D&D or D&D or just D&D? It is a role-playing game. This is a game where you as the player become a character. So think about a TV show or a movie or a video game. But instead of watching other people or watching a character, you are the character. You decide everything that happens. You make the choices that you couldn't make in a video game or in a fantasy book or in a fantasy movie or TV show. Players act out the characters they've created like in a play, like in a movie, like in a video game. You become your character. It's not, oh, I'm a wizard and I do spells. The end. No, nay. You are the wizard. What kind of voice are you going to have? What's your wizard going to look like? What is their personality like? You decide everything about your character and you become your character. You become them. This is your role in the game. You become a role, an actor. It is a role-playing game, not aim. Spelling mistake. I apologize. All right. So for D&D, for Dungeons and Dragons, what do you need? You need 2 to 7 people. First, you need a game master or dungeon master. Some people say game master, some people say dungeon master. The game master is the god of the game. They decide the entire story. They will explain everything. To be a game master, to be the GM or DM, to be the game master, you have to, one, be very good at talking. You have to be very good at talking, and you have to be very good at improv. Do you guys know what improv is? What is improv? That's right. Spur of the moment acting. You're making a choice like this, and you just have to go with it. So as a GM, as a game master, the players will say, hey, I want to do this. Or, oh, is there a box? Let me look at the box. GM says, okay, yeah, there's a box. Oh no, you opened it, there's a bump. You die. The end. The game master decides the entire story, where the story starts, where you go as players, and where the story will end. Not story, adventure, where your adventure will end. With that, having You can do one-on-one, one game master with one player. It's not as exciting or as fun, but if you and the game master work well together and you're very good at being creative, one-on-one is okay. But you want up to 6 players with one game master. More than 6 players, it's going to be a bit crazy. That's too many voices at the table. Next, you need dice. You need very special dice, and I'll talk about these later. But I got these online. They have them on Coupang. I got these online from America, but they look like, oh, look at my face. They look very different than just 6-sided, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's many different kinds of dice. I'll talk about those later. Lots of stationery. Stationery means paper, pens, brushes, erasers, anything you need to take notes or draw pictures or anything. Lots of stationery. Snacks. You will need snacks because this game takes a long time. For the person in chat, when you play D&D, how long are your game sessions? How long do you play D&D for with your group? When I play with my group, we play for maybe 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. All right. We play for 4 or 5 hours of just talking and listening, just talking and listening. All right. So because you're playing for so long, you definitely need snacks. You definitely need food and drinks. All right. So let's get into it. All right. So D&D. It is just a game. No, it is not just a game. It's so much more. For those of you who are intermediate to advanced English, but you feel you want to improve even more D&D, go find a group that plays Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop role-playing game. Your English will improve so much. You will improve in reading. There's so much to read when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons and the rules and the stories. Your oral storytelling, your listening skills, to listen to your game master and decide. And you have to speak. You have to say everything you want to do. All right. It's not, okay, so in the story, let's say the GM says, okay, player, you see a door. This door has some black writing all over it and it glows. There's a little bit of yellow light coming from it. What do you do? Okay, that's it. The GM DM describes the situation and says, okay, now what? You have to decide. This is oral storytelling. You have to be specific. You say, I open the door and walk through. How, when, where? How, do you sneak through? Do you punch through the door? Do you investigate? Do you look at the black writing first? You have to be specific. So all of those adjectives, adverbs, describing words, you are going to be using so much vocabulary. Dungeons and Dragons is wonderful for improving your English. On top of that, writing skills. We're going to talk about your character making in a minute, but character creation, it's not, okay, I'm an elf, I have yellow hair, and I'm tall, the end. No. It's my character, this is their name. I am an elf. I am 183 centimeters tall. I wear beautiful blue ninja style clothes with black armor. And now you have your background, your backstory. My name is Lirio, and my parents are historians and we are elves, and we live in the city of fish, something like that. All right. You have to do so much detail because, again, you become your character. The more detail and the more backstory and the more personality you give your character, the more you can become your character. This is my character, all right? Your character is a combination of statistics, so rolling the dice, this is dice, rolling the dice, following the rules of D&D, and your imagination, all right? Your imagination. First, you choose your race, which is the kind of creature you are. Are you a human? Are you half human? Are you going to be a gnome or a troll or an orc? What are these? You can research, it's okay. And then your class. Your class is going to be your job. What is your job? All right. And then you, on top of that, personality, appearance, and backstory. This is my character. All right. I went on ChatGPT and I put in the description and they made a picture for me. Okay. So I did not draw this picture. I did not find it online. This was ChatGPT. Her name is Lyriel Moonsilver. She is an elf. Her parents are historians. And my class, my job is a rogue. I am sneaky because I like to steal artifacts, which then I give to my parents and they study the artifact. All right, so that's now my backstory to my character is very long, but that is a little summary. All right, so getting together with your friends, deciding your character. You have to think about being balanced, all right? Because in Dungeons and Dragons, you don't just go around walking everywhere. You fight. You fight as well. And you talk through fighting. So first, you need to think about who is going to be your tank. All right? The tank, like military tank, the giant car that goes boom. That is a tank. This is the person who is going to be really strong. And they're going to have high armor, high protection. They can take the hits and they can protect everybody. Then you have the damage dealer. This is the person who is going to be very strong with their weapons. All right, but their armor, their protection might not be so big. And then you have your healer or your person who does magic, like a wizard or a sorcerer. And they typically, they stay in the back so that they're not getting hit so much because their focus is healing and doing magic spells. All right. Real quick, any questions so far about Dungeons and Dragons? For those in chat, for you guys who are here, how do you feel about describing? There's so much talking and there's so much describing in Dungeons and Dragons. How does that make you feel? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like you could describe your character or what your character will do? I know everyone's English is at a different level, but if you can do just the basic descriptions, what do I look like? How tall am I? What does my armor look like? Do you feel like you could do some describing? You would like to be a shapeshifter? Oh, yes, that's excellent. I love it. What are some other powers? I love it. What are some other powers that you would love to have? Because what's great with Dungeons and Dragons is you can be anything. You don't have to be you. My character, Lyriel, loves puzzles, loves going on adventures, is very athletic and likes jumping around. Tara hates puzzles. I hate puzzles. I am not athletic and I do not like jumping around. So I am not, Lyriel, my character, is very different from me. And Lyriel has a little bit of a British England accent. I'm from America. I do not. Absolutely not. So. Teleportation. Oh, that would be excellent. What about everyone else? What kind of powers would you like to do? Or what role would you think you could do? Would you be the tank who is the protect everybody? Or would you be the fighter, the bam, 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 bam? Or are you going to be the healer or the magic, the person who does magic in the back? Who would you be? So as a rogue, for my character, I'm more of a damage dealer, but I'm the sneaky. I'm the hiding damage dealer. I'm lots of sneaking around. Who would you be? Would you be the tank, the damage dealer, or the healer? You prefer healer or magic? Nice. I can see that. What about everyone else? Who would you be in your party? Okay, so. Alrighty. Okay, so moving on. All right, next we have your character sheet. Now in chat, I am going to put a website. Hold on, let me get it first. It's called D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond, which is Dungeons and Dragons Beyond. This is where you can create a character. You can do so much research on the different classes, on the different races, but then you can start building your character sheet. Your character sheet is your paper where you have all the basics or all the information about your character. Now, real quick, I did this picture. I asked ChatGPT to make it for me. Can you all see what is wrong with this picture? I know it's probably small for you, but can you see what's wrong with this picture? And it makes me laugh so much. I want to see. Yes, the spelling. Guys, look at character. Character alone. I mean, CARACTTER. What? Character. This says intelligation. That's not a word. That's not a word. Intelligation. That should say intelligence. Constitution. That should say constitution. Debacipity. Wisdity. Wisdity. Kamikama. Chamikama. Oh, but look. Strength. That's good. Dexterity. So I wanted to show this picture because ChatGPT and AI is wonderful, but be careful. You have to make sure. I am not using I paid for this. I paid for the pictures. I paid for ChatGPT just because I use it a lot. I use it a lot because I do play Dungeons and Dragons. I play Dungeons and Dragons a lot, but then I also use it for just ideas and in my free time. So, but whether any AI program you use that creates pictures, please be careful, okay? Or else you'll just get the most random words. And I said, ChatGPT, your spelling in your pictures, it's wrong. Can you fix it? And it said, I don't make words. I just create pictures. So if there's any words that are wrong, sorry. I can remake it again with no words. So, oh my gosh. It was so funny. It makes me laugh. Anyways, continuing. All right. Yeah. So first you are going to choose your race. Your race is going to be your creature. Again, if you go on D&D Beyond and you search race, you can see so many. There's human, orc, half human, half orc, half human, half elf. And this elf is like Lord of the Rings elf. Okay, this is not Santa elf. Okay, this is not Santa's helper elf. All right, that's a gnome, Gnome. That's a gnome. But there's so many different creatures that you can be. Each creature will give you certain abilities and certain extras to your character to make you stronger. But you can also just be a regular human. You can just be a regular human. All right, next we have class. This is straight from the Dungeons and Dragons book. Your class is what you do. What is your role? First we have a barbarian. Barbarian is the fighter, just bam, 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 bam. They're always big and strong with big muscles, and they attack and attack and attack. Next you have the bard. The bard is the musician. The bard is the musician. And the bard will can really help the players in different ways. They can use their music to distract the monster or to give you an extra power. Next, we have the cleric. The cleric is like a priest. They have a god that they worship, and their god has given them powers. Now, is it the Christian god? Sure. Is it the big giant spaghetti monster in the sky? Sure. This god can literally be anything. You can make it up. Or talk to your game master, and your game master can make it up. Or Dungeons and Dragons have their own gods. A druid. Think about a cleric who worships a god, but the druid is worshiping nature. So they get their power from nature. And then a fighter, again, is another bam, 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 but not as strong as a barbarian. Then you have a monk. A monk is a cleric, but with martial arts, like Taekwondo. All right, very strong. A paladin is a fighter and a cleric in one. All right, a paladin has a sacred oath or a promise with a god, and that they will be the example and get other people to join their faith, their church. A ranger is bow and arrow. And they use a little bit of magic. A rogue, which is my favorite character, is the sneaky. We use a lot of tricks, and we like to do a lot of stealing. A sorcerer is somebody who is born with magic. A warlock is somebody who has magic because they made a deal. They made a compromise. They made a contract. That could be with a demon. That could be with another wizard. That could be with a god, whatever. But a warlock has magic from a contract. And then a wizard is someone who studied magic. That is how they got magic. Alrighty. When it comes to hit die, ability, saving throw, armor, don't worry about these. We can talk about these a little bit later. All right, real quick. I just described the classes. Everybody here, what class would you be? If you could choose your class, who would you be? Would you be barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter? Bard is really funny. They have something called bardic inspiration, which means when you roll a die, you add an extra dice to make your dice number stronger or higher. They're really funny. And they're very music. They do a lot of music. So if you play as a bard, get ready to do a little bit of singing or music playing. Who would you be? Would you be the fighter? Would you be the bow and arrow? Wizard? Nice. And wizard is cool because if you look on the D&D and Beyond, you can see the different schools that they studied. So your magic will change depending on the school your character goes to. So it's really cool. A lot of new players like to choose rogue just because you can hide. Like in a battle, you can hit the monster and then hide, and then come back out, hit, and then hide, and then come back out and hit and hide. That's how I play video games. When I play shooting video games, I hide, I come out, bam, 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 and then I hide again. And then I come back out. So rogue, it was perfect for me. Alrighty, let's move on. Okay, abilities. Much of what your character does in the game depends on your 6 abilities. So we have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. I'll talk about these a little bit. So this can also help with your personality. If you have a -1, which you can have a negative, you can have a minus. Let's say you have a -1 to charisma. Your character should not be good at talking to people. Like you should be like, oh, yes, there we go. You, friend, hello, hi. So when you're talking in the game as your character, your charisma is very low. Or like rogue, because my rogue character depends on being very sneaky. I am not strong. So if I'm in a battle in Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm in a battle and I get hit, yikes. Or there is a type of battle where a monster can push you. And what happens is it's your strength versus the monster's strength number. Whoever has the higher number is the winner. Well, with rogue, that number's low, so I lose. So, all right, so let's talk about that. I found this wonderful picture on Reddit about D&D. These are what the abilities. Explained with tomatoes. So this is to make it easier. Your strength is, are you able to crush a tomato? Can you crush it? All right. Your dexterity means, can you dodge? How fast are you? Also, how far you can throw. All right. Can you throw it really far? Your constitution. Can you eat a bad tomato and live? How strong is your inside? All right. Intelligence is knowing tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing do not put tomato in a fruit salad. Don't, no, we eat it like a vegetable. Don't eat it like a fruit, but those sweet tomatoes, ooh, 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 the Korean the sugar sweet tomatoes, ooh, those are really good. You can put those in a fruit salad. All other tomatoes do not put in a fruit salad. They don't belong. And then charisma is being able to sell a tomato-based fruit salad. A tomato fruit salad is salsa. Like, hello, look at my salsa. Have you seen this salsa? Have you seen this tomato-based fruit salad? You want this. I promise you. Your charisma will help you sell that tomato. All right. That's it for character creation. There is so much more, you guys, and I don't have time. I don't have time to talk about all of it, but there's so much more. You can choose more stories for your backstory. You can choose a feat, which is you have your class and your feat, F-E-A-T, not your feet, F-E-A-T. Your feat will add to your class. Can you get extra abilities and things like that? There's so much more gameplay. All right, so I'm going to need your help for this one. I know I've been talking a lot, but now I need you guys. All right, if you've played D&D before, this is going to be easy. If you have not played D&D, oh no, that's okay. The DM, the Game Master or Dungeon Master, describes the environment. So, like I said before, players, listen, players. Before you, in front of you, you see a giant black door. This black door looks like it is metal. And around the black door is a door frame covered in black ink. And you see from the door a yellow glow. There's like a yellow light coming from the door. People in chat, tell me, what do you do? What are you going to do? And you can't just say walk through the door. Give me description. Describe what you will do. Does anybody want to use their voice? You can use your voice for this one. If writing is too much, you can use your voice. You see this giant black door, and all around is all this writing with a yellow light. Find the key to open the door. Aha, good. Find the key. What else would you do? Turn the black ink into ash. Interesting. All right, so in D&D, first things first, as always, investigate. So investigate like Sherlock Holmes. Look. You have to look. Now, here's what happens. Your GM will say, okay, you want to look at the door? Oh, you want to find the key. All right, go ahead and roll your dice. This is called a D20. It is 20-sided. Where's the camera? There you are. It is 20-sided. It's 20 sides. If you get a high number, the higher the number, the more you find. The lower the number, the less you find. So you say, find the key to open the door. Okay, I'm going to say roll to investigate. So you roll the dice. Got a 15. That's a really high number. You look around. Now me as the Game Master, I can decide, is 15 a good number? Can you find the key with 15 or can you not find the key? I'm going to say yes. 15, you find the key. Great, wonderful. You find the key. It is this small silver key with a heart at the end. And it goes straight up with just a little, with the little key marks at the end. You have the key now. What do you do? That's it. So it's like this, again and again and again, over and over and over again. But as always, every decision you make is going to be with the dice. All right, so the decision maker. There are several different types of dice in D&D. There is a D20. The D20 is the one you will use the most. This is your decision maker. All right. There are two numbers called the critical numbers. First, there is 20. 20 is a critical success. Means whatever you wanted to do, you find it. Oh, you want that key? Oh, you got a 20. Guess what? It's under your foot. Congratulations. That's the best number. That is the most successful. The worst number is a 1. That is called a critical failure. Not only is it bad, it is the worst. But it's also, as Game Master, the funniest because I decide. So you want to find the key, you roll the dice. Oh no, you got a 1. Not only do you not find the key, you fall over and a poison needle comes out, hits you. I'm going to roll a dice. You have damage. You take 1 damage. So, that is the worst case scenario. All right. Or I can just say, hey, you find nothing. All right. You don't find a key. So there are other dice. There is the D4, D6, and D8, D10, and D12. D just means dice, and the number is how many sides. All right. So D4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, these are going to be for your weapons and how much damage you can do. All right. If you just have a very short sword, a very small sword, it's just a D4. All right. And this looks like a pyramid. Oh no, I dropped it. I'll find it later. D6 is going to be bigger weapons. So like a bow and arrow, a crossbow, like a hand arrow, things like that. D8 are going to be even bigger weapons. So a giant club, a bigger bow, an axe, things like that. And then D10 and D12 are going to be the biggest, heaviest weapons. If you are a rogue or a wizard or a sorcerer, you are not going to use these weapons because strength is not your greatest ability. You're a barbarian or fighter. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. All right. So, but most importantly, you have to remember the D20 decides everything. How does it decide? With your skills. All right. These are the different skills that a GM will have you roll. All right. So acrobatics is, can you jump over the wall? You want to jump over a wall? Do acrobatics. Animal handling. Oh, you want to touch the puppy? The puppy you found in the forest? The puppy with horns and that's all red with yellow eyes? You want to touch the puppy? Okay, animal handling. Arcana is magic, your magic ability. Athletics, how far can you run or how fast can you run? Deception is hiding and lying. All right, can you lie? History, do you remember? Does your character remember learning about the story or what's going on? Insight. Insight is going to be very important. Insight means you look at a person. Can you read them? Can you look at a character or at a bad guy or at a monster? Can you read their face? Do they look happy, sad, angry? All right. Did your character have a conversation and you see that the other person is sad? Intimidation. Intimidation is, you want to fight? I'll fight you. How scary are you? Are you really scary? If you're a D20, if you get a 20 on intimidation, they are shaking like, oh my God, yes, whatever, what all you want to do? You get a 1, like, hey, do it, roll. Oh no, that's a 1. Pop, they're gonna hit you. You are not scary. Medicine, someone is hurt and you are not a healer. If you are not a healer, but you try to heal somebody, you can do a medicine check. Nature, camping. Can you survive in camping? Perception is, what do you see around you? All right. Let's say there is a spider coming from the ceiling. For perception, do you see the spider or do you not see the spider? Persuasion. Persuasion is, come on, give me a discount. Discount, please. Kakajuzeo. Oh no, come on, you can give me a discount, please. Please, no, please. My mother, she is sick at home. She must have this potion. Please give me a discount. Persuasion. High number on your D20? Yes, they will give you the discount. Low number? No. Religion. So if there is a part of the story that is in a church or is about a god or whatever, you're going to roll to see how religious you are. How strong is your faith? Sleight of hand is stealing. So as a rogue, I say, oh, I want to steal the key. I have to roll sleight of hand. So high number, I get it. Low number, I don't get it. Stealth is sneaking. Can you hide around and the guards, the people protecting the castle don't see you? And then survival is more camping. Can you survive? I drank bad water. I drank bad water. Okay, roll survival to see if you get sick or not. I got an 8. I'm sick. I'm sick now. I need to go find a healer. All right, so those are the different skills. This is how you can do anything. Anything. All right, and it's the number on the dice makes it very fun because what you want to do is not guaranteed. Just because you want the key doesn't mean you get the key. All right. Any questions about skills? Any questions about skills or the dice? No? All righty, let's continue. All right, guys, we're almost done. I'm sorry, this is not so much of a conversation, but I really wanted to do this introduction for you guys so that you guys can pursue a really great way to improve your English, all right, because this is amazing. Battling, fighting. You will fight in D&D. The GM will describe a monster or a bad guy, and you can decide if you want to fight. Now, for many, many adventures, many stories, you can fight, you can run away, you can sneak, you can try to get around, or you can talk it out and see to maybe not fight by talk, and just talk. If you want to do just talking, you must get high numbers. Your persuasion, come on, we don't have to fight. No, we don't have to fight. Must be very high, okay? Fighting is a bit complicated, all right? So first, you have to roll a d20 to see if you can attack. But first, you have to tell me, the GM, your weapon. Are you using a sword? Are you using a bow and arrow? Are you using the mace, the one that swings and hits? All right, what are you doing? Are you going to do a spell? All right, an attacking spell. You have to roll to see if you can hit. All right, that is going to be armor class. Your armor class is the number of your armor that protects you. All right. If you are successful, then every weapon has a dice that has that damage. So like I said, a short sword or a very small weapon, the damage is up to a 4. That's it, just a d4. Now, after they take damage, you can stay and wait another turn because it's turn-based. So one person goes, and then you decide attack, run away, or move, and then it's the next person. And then it might be the monsters next, and then another person, and then another monster, and then another person, and then another person, and then the monster. You go in turns all around. So every turn, you decide what you're going to do. All right. And I do want to let you know, you can die. Your character can die. You have something called HP, hit points. That is the number of your life. Just like in a video game. In a video game, you have HP, you get hit, you can die. There is a way to come back from dying, or you can just make a new character and come back into the story a different way. All right, you can die. After a battle, you move on in your adventure, and more adventure awaits. All right, so now with tabletop role-playing games, it's called tabletop because you play on your table and you have all your papers and everything, and you're talking. There are many different ones. There's ones called Shadowrun, Vampire. And their rules are going to be a little bit different. So it is really important that you read. You read the rules and you find out what they're about. Some of these tabletop games, their dice are different. Or they have another dice. Like here, I have a dice. This is 100. All right. In D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, we don't really use the 100 dice. This would be more for distance, like players. You see a monster in the distance. The monster is 72 meters away. All right. So that would be like this one. We don't really use it, but there could be another tabletop role-playing game where this 100 die is very important. All right, so with that being said, for those of you who are interested in Dungeons and Dragons, but want to watch people or listen to people do it first, there are many, many, many different channels on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and just write D&D or Dungeons and Dragon campaign, you can find many different ones. The most famous YouTube channel for Dungeons and Dragons is Critical Role. They have been doing Dungeons and Dragon videos for years, absolute years. Now, my favorite is Dimension 20. And Dimension 20, like D20, Dimension 20 is also on YouTube. You can look at, they have their very first few campaigns. All of the videos are online. If you want to watch later campaigns, a campaign is the whole story. The campaign is the whole story from beginning to end. If you want to watch all of them, their first couple campaigns are on YouTube. Later campaigns are on their specific channel. It's called, oh goodness, why? I can't remember. Just a second. I have it as a Dropout. It's called Dropout TV. It's a subscription, but they have many different TV shows. Dropout TV is a comedy channel. It's a comedy channel subscription. All of their shows are hilarious. They are so funny. But they also have their D&D, their Dungeons and Dragons. So it's very good. The game master, who is usually Brendan Mulligan, he is insane. Which also, if you really, really, really want to improve your vocabulary, watching the game masters from these channels is awesome. They use very advanced vocabulary sometimes. And even me, I have to pause and search these words. But what's great is you hear them in context. So you're not just studying a word, you're not just reading a sentence, you are hearing this vocabulary in real time. All right, so real uses, real conversation. I do want to say though, a lot of D&D channels, they do say a lot of bad words. They say a lot of bad words. So if you don't like bad words, sorry. Or if you don't, or just don't watch with your children, okay? D&D board games hard for, it depends on their level. It absolutely depends on your level, but you can adapt. In D&D, there are very short stories called one-shots. They're one-shot adventures. One-shot adventures, some of them are a little difficult. There's one that's called Granny's Apple Pie. Granny's Apple Pie. Now, these one-shot, as the GM, you can read the entire story. and you can read all the rules, and then as your game master, you can decide what to do. Granny's apple pie is really good. It's very good for beginners. If you're sitting with completely brand new people, it takes about 4 hours to complete. So if you have multiple weeks of classes with your students, these are fantastic. And again, all of these dice, you can find them on Coupang. You can find them on Coupang or AliExpress. There's this company in America that I enjoy their TikToks. I enjoy their social media, so I buy from them. It's called One Link at a Time. One O-N-E link, L-I-N-K, link at a time. They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok. I really, really, really love them. And I have bought their dice because I like them a lot. I think LLC. I think that's, yeah, One Link at a Time, LLC.com. LLC just means business. But that's where I buy my dice, and I had it shipped from America to Korea. So, or just AliExpress. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. All righty, guys. Well, our time is almost over. So I highly suggest going on YouTube, watching Dimension 20, watching Critical Role, and see if it's something that's really wonderful, or seeing if it's something you like. There's also one that is family friendly, and it's called D&D with high school students. D&D with high school students. That is not. If you go on YouTube and look at D&D with high school students, it's a high school teacher. It's a high school teacher playing with students. It's very, very good introduction. And it's I think it's about 10 videos, but it's very good introduction. There's no bad words. It's family friendly. And with that, you can really see what goes on. And these are, because they're high school students, they're kids, their vocabulary is not as high as the adults in Dimension 20 or Critical Role. So I think that's a really great start as an introduction for D&D to see if you would like to play. So yeah. All right, with that being said, you guys, we are finished. Any questions? And if anybody wants to start a D&D club at Cups, let me know. I would not mind being your dungeon master. So if you want to start a club, talk to the office and see, or if one of you would like to be the dungeon master, if you feel like you're good at storytelling and you can think real quick on your feet, go for it. It's being a game master is really fun, and it's really challenging. So I highly suggest it. All right, with that being said, we are finished. Any questions? I'm so glad you found it helpful. I know today was not very much discussion, really, but I am obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. I love it so much, and I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to share with everyone just how great Dungeons and Dragons is. So I'm sorry it wasn't so much of a discussion-based lecture today, but it's really, really fun, and I hope you guys can find a group and you can join. You can join a Dungeons and Dragons group. So anyways, goodbye. It was fun. I'm so glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys got to learn about a new game. You have a wonderful day. I'm going to take some medicine and I'm going back to bed. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Thank you all so much again.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you in book club.
Yep. See you in book club.